How can I explain suicidal depression if I don't even understand it myself? Sometimes there's a reason to be sad, but other times you just can't explain why. I heard this quote from David Foster Wallace, which referenced the 9/11 suicides. It basically said that committing suicide isn't just done out of, quote, helplessness. And it's surely not because death seems appealing. The person who is fighting the silent battle and who reaches an undurable level of agony will act in the same way as a trapped person in a room of flames. If the person is stuck between the flames and the window, everywhere they turn seems like a dead end. The quote went on to say, "Make no mistake about the people who would leap from the burning building. Their terror of falling from such a great height is still just as great as if it were me or you peeking outside the same window. The fear of falling remains constant. The variable here is the other terror, the fire's flames. When the flames get close enough, falling to death becomes the slightly less terrible of the two terrors. It's not desiring the fall. It's the terror of the flames. And yet nobody down on the sidewalk yelling, 'Don't,' and 'just hang on' can truly understand the jump. You have to have personally been trapped and felt the flames to really understand a terror that is way beyond falling. If we could compact the beginning of time on Earth all the way until present time into a 24-hour period, all of human existence would have only been on the Earth for a grand total of 3 seconds. You see, we feel like we have all the time in the world, but really, every second passing by is another second less you have. We come in contact with so many different people, whether you come in contact with a friend, a teacher, the girl who sits behind you in 7th period, the guy sitting alone at lunch, or even a complete stranger. You never know when someone's time on this earth will come to an end. Research shows that globally, one suicide happens every 40 seconds. That's one life, gone. Research also shows that 19 out of 20 people who attempt suicide will fail. But the people who fail are 37 times more likely to succeed the second time. Everyone knows that the first step to recovery is admitting that there is a problem. And without eliminating the taboos around this issue and realizing that it exists in the world, we will get nowhere. Kevin Briel said depression isn't being sad when everything is going wrong. It's being sad when everything is going right. Depression isn't just a feeling. It's a disease that will only grow if it's left untreated. I'm not going to lie and say that there's a 10-step solution to fighting depression, because it's not that simple. I don't have all the answers. But that's the good thing about eliminating the taboos around this issue. Because once we truly start opening up about depression is when the healing begins.
I think that when it comes to talking about depression and suicide and things like that, people get too scared that what they say is going to make them just bottle it up more and not want to talk about it.
I've experienced it, and I cringe saying the word suicide. Like, that makes my stomach feel so sick just saying the word. So I can understand why people, avoid it.
It's just really hard to talk about, like, people who suffer from depression or who have suicidal thoughts. They don't want to talk about it.
There was tragedy happened at our school involving suicide, and there was a lot of people around school that wouldn't talk about it, but they needed to talk about it and get stuff off their chest, and they're not sure how to talk about it because no one ever brings it up or wants to talk about it. And I feel like that's part of the problem, that people don't understand mental illness. They don't understand how these people are having these thoughts. It's not just a choice that somebody can decide one day that they're suicidal. It's a state of mind. It's a huge part of their life. It's like a wave that sucks them in. We're not taught what to do when something tragic happens or how to deal with ourselves and the thoughts that we're having.
And it's hard to handle, and it's hard to know what to do because we're not taught in school. We don't know what these feelings are. Like, when it first happened, like, I didn't even know what to think. I just cried.
If you give them reassurance that everything that they say is valid and everything that they're feeling is important and needs to be heard, and you just let them know that, like, constantly, then I think that would make more people open up about it. The more that we talk about it and, like, the more that we make it not such a unspoken topic, then the more people will be able to get things off their chest, and there's more of a chance that they're going to feel better when they go home that night.
Until it affects you personally, you have no understanding of like how it really feels.
Those people that are there for us and to help us, they might not necessarily understand these situations.
I witnessed that firsthand with, like, my friend did commit suicide and people trying to come up and comfort me, and seeing, you know, how there's a difference between like sympathy and empathy. The fact that like some of them understood, as well as those people who are there to offer their sympathy, but they still realize that it's a problem. And I think that's a big part of understanding suicide and mental illness, is not necessarily knowing about it just because it personally affects you, but realizing how it affects others.
It's at least someone in one of your classes or someone that you work with has either dealt with it, is going to deal with it, or, you know, it's happening right now.
So many people, they have ideas about certain people and how they think their life is and how they think their mind works almost. Like, they think, oh, this person, they do well in school, they're nice to people, and they just seem like they have the most perfect life and everything is okay with them. But you never know what is going on in someone's mind, in someone's life, honestly.
I remember I had just gotten off the phone with my friend, and this friend was asking about her, and she's like, you know, is she okay? Like, how is she doing? Because, you know, we're both just kind of worried about her, like normal. I remember I was like, you know, she's fine. She's never going to do it. I said those words, and then I got off the phone, and I found out, and, you know, my heart stopped. Like, I can't even describe the, like, pain.
My girlfriend at the time committed suicide. We were on the phone just talking, and I was just trying to get her to stop.
The morning I found out, I just sat down on my bathroom floor and I cried. I mean, it's not like you have to be best friends with the person or, you know, like be sisters or family to them. It's like, it affects everyone.
I got the text giving me the news, and when I found out and I read it, you know, I didn't start crying and I didn't feel sad yet because I didn't think that this was really happening.
If there was like one thing that I could say that, not the obvious like negative things about suicide, is that it's consistent. I woke up and thought about it this morning, not considering to take my own life, but something that like follows you.
A lot of people feel guilty when it comes to suicides and depressions and everything, because you think, you know, what could I have done to help? You think, well, I could have at least noticed something, and it's not always that apparent, because a lot of the times people are really good at hiding it.
So I dealt with depression for most of my 9th grade year, and whenever it happened, I didn't realize how much it was affecting my family, like at all, because in my head, it was only affecting me. I set a really bad example. Okay. That's fine. Because I was so upset all the time, and my best friend had always seen me like that, like she got used to that being like just how I was, because I was like that for such a long time, and eventually it affected her more than she would like say. But when I realized that that's the kind of friend that I was being, like, I felt so guilty. It was kind of the same situation with my parents. Like, I had no idea how much I was affecting other people by just sitting in this little pool of sadness all the time. Like, I only ever thought that it was affecting me, but it affects everyone around you in ways that you wouldn't even think of.
After my friend did commit suicide, it was so easy to sink into the same kind of thoughts and to just be taken over by sadness every day. For months, I felt like I wouldn't be happy again. And I felt like I would never really truly experience happiness again, and that my life would never be normal. But through the past month, I would say, I've realized I've started feeling happy again, and I've realized that that's what my friend would have wanted, that she wouldn't want to see me sad and to go every day feeling so sad, but to be happy. And I remember around my birthday, my friend threw me a surprise party, and that was the first time since it had happened that I felt truly happy. And that was something that opened my eyes to see that my life is still going to go on, and I'm going to be happy, and I'm going to miss her, and I'm going to think about her all the time. But I can still live my life, and I can still be happy. And the best thing I can do is to teach people about this issue.
If you even think that somebody that you know is feeling this way, then just let them know that they're not alone. Like, it's really cliche to say, like, you're not alone, but that little acknowledgement for that person can mean the world.
I would let them know that there's people out there that are willing to help, and that they're there for them. And just to know that suicide is not the answer.
You know, suicide is definitely a permanent solution to a temporary problem. I can't speak because I've never been through depression, but I've seen people come out of it. It's possible. It might take a while, but you can definitely get through it, and suicide is not the option.
It's just a matter of being stronger than you think you are. I think a lot of times we doubt ourselves.
Someone used to tell me that, like, if you tell yourself, okay, I'm happy today, this is not going to happen to me, I'm not going to be sad today, then, like, eventually you will feel better, like, you will feel happy. It won't just be something that you're telling yourself, it'll be something that's an actual real feeling for you.
I know that, like, I shouldn't stop, and I shouldn't limit myself ever, and if anything, after this experience, I should be a better version of myself.
People can relate to it even if they don't think that they can. And if you start noticing that something's happening, then you need to step up and try to be a person who they can come to maybe, you know, save their life. Because if you find someone who has survived something that you're going through, then they'll help you.
It's really hard to push through and be able to, like, get back on your feet after dealing with something like that. But it just shows you how precious life is and how important it is to live life like it's the last.
Like, you know, you should take it upon yourself to be, like, nice to everyone, smile at everyone, because that can make a difference. It really can. Like, people don't think that saying hi or waving or smiling is a big deal, but it is.
There is counselors that can help, or teachers that you can talk to.
You have friends, you have people that you can find to support you, who understand and who know what you're going through, and those who have also been affected by it can help you understand, you know, those feelings and thoughts that you're going through, and that will help you get out of it.
Just try to push through.
There's so much to live for. There's so much for anybody in any situation that they're in. There's always going to be a light at the end of the tunnel that is going to be worth it once you've made it there. No, like even though it's really, really hard at the moment, and it's so hard to get out of that sadness, it is so worth it once you've made it.
Whatever you're feeling right now, and however low you feel like you are, that you can always get back up from that, and that things can change drastically, and that you can feel happy again, and you can live your life.